Hey everyone, talking about my new fragrance site, DecantPlanet.com, which is officially live, link in the description, promo code in the description, and I've been working so hard on this, decants and bottles, and it's a little bit different than other decant sites, basically. So this isn't trying to be the kind of, decant or bottle site where it's anything and everything, the biggest selection ever, or anything like that. The whole focus for me with this one is that I wanted to have curated collections of what I really think are, like, for my taste at least, the best of for different categories, different notes, things like that, so people can kind of get an idea of where to start and not feel so, because I know, like, when I was getting into fragrance and trying to sample stuff, sometimes it kind of felt like I don't even know where to go, when you land on a kind of sample or a bottle site and you're just sort of left to your own devices or whatever. Or either that, or you see some really hyped up list of, like, oh, the top 10. These are ones that some of them are super unique, like nobody is talking about them, and other ones are more common and popular, and they're just, I think, worth smelling either way. So yeah, the curated collections are the most important thing to me on the site, and there's going to be lots more coming. It's starting with a bunch of different ones, everything from, like, classy fresh masculine scents to lavender, tea, hinoki, so vetiver, neroli, orange blossom, like different notes, and also different stuff like sexy feminine, like different categories. And I'm only putting stuff in a category if I really believe that it belongs in that category. So of trying thousands of fragrances, most of these at this point do not have more than 10 fragrances in them tops. And that's not because, like, oh, I would want to put this in but I can't get it. Like, nope, they're just not anymore that I want to put in those for the most part. And yeah, like, as mentioned, there's going to be quite a few more categories coming, everything from, and I'll probably post stuff so subscribers can vote on which ones I do next. I already have tons of categories planned out, but it's taken this long to just decant this many hundreds and hundreds of samples and get all the bottles and all that kind of stuff. So I'll let people maybe choose between, like, what do you want to see next? The coffee one, rose, incense, musk, like, of the kind of ones that are coming up. Yeah, so I'm not saying everybody will love everything in the collections, but I am saying that it's absolutely honest coming from my taste, because these are not ones that are the top Googled ones that people are looking to buy. Like, if I just wanted to put stuff on here that was going to make the most money and find the most eyeballs on it and whatever, that would be a very different selection. So I truly, again, want to just emphasize that everything in these collections I picked because I really just think it belongs in that collection. And yeah, so there's also on the site, in addition to the collections, a lot of one-off samples or, like, limited stock from my own sample buying when I have extras of stuff, which is pretty common. So there's hundreds of others, and there's going to be a lot more coming too, of other stuff and options to buy on the site, much more than just the curated collection. So the curated collections are ones that, yep, if it's in there, it's something that I feel strongly about in terms of, what I just went through. But you can also just look through all the other samples, and there's tons of other stuff in there as well. Lots of bottles. I think there's maybe around 100 bottle options to choose from right now. Definitely more coming. Maybe 400 or so sample options right now, and lots more coming for that, for sure. So there's also a rewards program, and I really wanted to make this is another thing, like, I wanted it fun. That is something that I really wanted out of this, because some fragrance sites are too, like, kind of snooty, but not just, when I've talked to, like, customer service or whoever at many of them, they don't act like that, but some of the websites, they're just very, like, dry and just, like, yeah, come on, bring the fun. Like, just because it's niche and whatever doesn't mean, like, we can't, have fun with it. So I want to do stuff like flash sales, cool promotions, like fun gift with purchase type of stuff. And yeah, the rewards program. So the rewards program, everybody, no matter what tier you're on, gets at least 5% cash back on all purchases toward, credit towards future orders. Then there's tiers, like levels. Once you spend $500 and you hit the bronze level or whatever, you get, like, a $25 bonus credit, and then you start earning 6% credit on all future orders, all the way up to, like, if you spend a certain amount, then you get 10% credit on all future orders. So yeah, stuff like that. And yeah, there are some known bugs right now. I fixed as much stuff as I could, but I just had to finally get this up, and I'm working with developers to work on some of that. I'm going to link in the description. I'm going to have a page where I kind of cover some of the known bugs, because I'm not trying to be one of those sites that it's like, you figure it out. They don't want to say when there's a problem with it. Like, no, it's, it shouldn't be anything like, oh, checkout isn't working or anything like that, but just certain things like, this page doesn't look the greatest, or these images don't look, are cropped badly, or like this filter in this scenario doesn't work when you click the X button, or like something like that. And I just want to be really transparent about what those are, and I'll keep that page up to date. And I'm also excited about this in terms of the channel, because a lot of upcoming reviews were recorded before I even knew there was going to be a fragrance site, but they're ones that I absolutely loved, and then I wanted to put them in the curated collections, but I waited to schedule the video so that it could go live when I had the fragrances up on DecantPlanet and ready to go. So now finally, I feel like I actually have not recorded a video as of recording this in 3 weeks, because I've just been so busy with everything related to the launch for this. Everything's just been pre-scheduled and pre-recorded, and I am excited to get all these videos out of ones that I love so much. So in the near future, it's going to be a lot of actually really positive, I love this, I love that. Not as much critique as usual, but again, it all flows in the directions of, I love something, so I add it to DecantPlanet. There is never going to be a scenario where it's like, oh, I'm going to add this to the site, and then I'm going to try to rave about it and say it's really good to get people to buy it. Because to me, just no, on the integrity front, that's important to me. But also, I don't need to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. I can stick to just doing that about fragrances that I do love, and I want to do something I'm passionate about. Like, I don't need to do that for boring stuff. So another thing that I'm going to be doing soon, and I'm going to also, on the kind of page that lists the known bugs, I think I'm also going to have a section that'll kind of show new features that are coming soon and things like that. But for example, going to have stuff in the collections where you can buy a real sample of the actual, like, say for like the vetiver collection, that you'll be able to buy a little thing of like real vetiver oil, so that you can smell what the actual raw ingredient smells like, and then you can also compare it to some of the scents, whether the ones in the collection or not. You don't have to buy them from the site, just whatever vetiver fragrances, and you can kind of get an idea of like, oh, this is how it smells on its own, this is how it can smell in fragrance. Because when you're trying to get to know what a note is like, there's no one way that can guarantee doing it. It's not enough to just smell the raw ingredient, because it smells so different when it's used in fragrance. It's also not enough to just smell one fragrance that uses that ingredient, even very centrally, because it can manifest differently depending on the type, the source, the proportions of it, and the exact, you need to smell like a couple different fragrances with that scent in it. So getting a feel of like multiple fragrances with that note, and smelling the actual sort of absolute or oil or whatever of the thing, really can help you kind of find your taste or whatever. And to be clear, aside from the ones I'm scheduling for the very near future that I've been putting off for so long because I've been trying to get them to go live at the same time, most of what I post reviews of on here is still going to be stuff that's linking to other websites, like, ScentSplit, whoever, like all the other Decant and type of sample websites. This is not going to turn into something where it's just like, everything I talk about, it leads back to buying something from DecantPlanet. I want that to be featured on the channel in the sense that it is a positive thing, hopefully, like, oh, hey, this new thing was added and hopefully this is cool and something people enjoy, but not at all in terms of using this to like try to pressure anybody into buying it unless it's actually relevant for the situation. So yeah, I already have probably like 1,000 videos pre-scheduled in the backlog that are already linking to plenty of other sites. So nothing much should change on that front. And one thing that I'm excited about too, because this is a feature that I have not been particularly pleased with really on any fragrance site ever that I can think of, and I might be blanking, or at least I should say fragrance site where you can buy stuff, not like fragrance databases. Filtering by notes. So often, either there are some really popular ones like Decant and bottle sites where you can't even do that, or at most they have their own descriptions, like it'll just be like citrus, and then that's just like so broad or something, or like just masculine or something. Like, I want to be able to look by notes and stuff. So what I did here is, made sure that I had the notes for every single fragrance on there, and when you look in the results and whatever, and you do the filter thing, you can see on the pop out all the notes lists, and you can select ones that are in the results, and then have it filter by those. And you can select like different ones, so it uses multiple ones and everything like that. So I'm really excited about that, just for my own point, like my own usage of the site too, as just kind of like a database for ones that I've tried. So that is the other thing, that this is going to be super relevant to the channel and people who are interested, I guess, aside from even if you never care about buying anything on it. I added a product page for every single fragrance I have ever tried, and that took fucking forever. Because yeah, there's almost 5,000 to get images for all of those, to get the notes for all of those, to make sure that it was accurate about like masculine, feminine, unisex, things like that. But it's finally done. They're all on there. Obviously, most of them are not in stock, but that way, if anybody's interested, what I'm going to be doing is adding my YouTube stuff to like embed in each of the pages, so that you can easily kind of search it as a database too. That's maybe easier to search than just like going through a YouTube channel search, which is not that, like, you can't really filter that by anything. So you'll be able to use that to look up kind of any of my reviews or like any stuff that I've tried, if you're curious about that at all. And also, coming soon, this was supposed to be there at launch, but it ended up having an update and there was a bug, and I removed it because I don't want risky stuff going on right at the beginning. I'm working with the developers. They'll fix it soon, hopefully. There's going to be a standard feature like notify me when this is back in stock. Shopify, which is what the site is set up with, is kind of ridiculous in how nothing kind of just comes with it. Like, you have to add all these app add-ons even for things that should be really basic like that. But again, working with the developers to get this fixed, where you can do that for any of the almost 5,000 fragrances on there that are out of stock. Like, notify me when it's back in stock, and I will monitor those. And for ones that people really want, then I will obviously try to add those. Because first and foremost, I'm not going to add anything to the curated collections part that I don't personally love and believe should be there, blah, 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 whatever. But for stuff that's being sold on the site in general, yeah, of course I want to add what people are going to want to buy in general. So yeah, I will try my best to add anything that people want, and I will update as soon as that feature is working again, which hopefully should be pretty soon. And yeah, so I think that I feel like there's so much more. This is already probably one of my longest videos ever, but yeah, long time coming. And again, I'll list the kind of some of the known bugs in it, which again is some stuff, so just like some visual things, stuff like the brands page just looking kind of janky. Certain things like the fragrance notes on a product page are listed like under the image, and there's no comma in between them. It's still pretty easy to tell like where the notes are separated, but yeah, and you can click each one to then see everything on the site that uses that note. And yeah, I definitely recommend though, in terms of if you're really just looking for what you can buy, always just try to filter by in stock, because otherwise you're going to get frustrated with how many thousands are on there that are not in stock yet. And yeah, I've really just tried to put stuff I felt was worth going in there on those curated collections. Tried to make it fun with the rewards program. Giveaway stuff, definitely excited about that. So I'm going to be giving away a bottle of By the Fireplace, a bottle of Jazz Club, and gift certificates to DecantPlanet. Details coming on that, I think, on Wednesday. For some reason, that's just what I've landed on of when I usually do giveaways, is the Wednesday morning video time. But yeah, so details coming on that then. Basically, to win, I'm going to do a couple of different types of giveaways. One is like anybody who makes a purchase in the first 2 weeks, because I want to give people time who maybe need time to get paid, and I don't like to encourage the afterpay type of going into debt stuff. And I'm also going to do giveaways where you don't have to buy anything, whatever, just anybody who subscribes on the channel is eligible to enter. And again, it'll be an easy thing, like you just leave a comment and you're entered or whatever. But again, details on that coming soon. And let's see, oh yeah, so lastly on location, international shipping, if anybody's made it this far, but hopefully you'll see the clickable links to the different parts of the video in the description. I am not starting with the ability on there to ship to any place outside of the States, because there's a couple reasons. One, I don't have the custom code entered for all the products yet. That shouldn't be too hard because I can enter it as a batch thing. 2, I don't have the weight entered for all products yet. 3, I don't want something where there's any confusion or lack of clarity about who pays the duties type of fees and the different options people are going to have. So I really want to make sure that launches correctly when that happens, but you totally still can order in the meantime. What you can do is if you are outside of the States and you want, some stuff on it, you can email contact@DecantPlanet.com or use the contact form on there with the stuff that you want. And I can, or whoever can, create a PayPal invoice for you. The only thing I would say is for a lot of the ones like the one-off samples where there's only one in stock, might be best to try to avoid putting those on there because I imagine those might go pretty quickly. So there might kind of be like some back and forth end of like, oh, this actually sold out, whatever. So it might be kind of best to try to stick to like bottles and or the curated collection ones for that. But yeah, I mean, you can put whatever you want. I can let you know if it's in stock or not. But yeah, that way I can see it. I can calculate the shipping fee manually, check with you like, hey, this is what it would cost. Do you want to proceed? And if you do, great. And if you are still watching this and you are outside of the US, I'm very much curious, what does it usually cost you to order samples and or bottles from the US if you do? Because I have not much concept of what that would be in the reverse. Like I've ordered quite a few times from other countries, but I don't know because usually in the US, if you order under $800 USD from another country, you don't get charged like duties type of fees or whatever, but I know that it's not like that in a lot of other countries and you'll get charged a lot. So I really want to know like what are people used to paying for that? Like, because I don't want something where someone's really surprised, like, what? Like I ordered these samples, because I ordered these samples and I didn't expect to get hit with this type of fee. So yeah, I'm just very curious what people should expect sort of in that sense and just like what the typical shipping stuff is. I mean, I'll see it myself when I calculate it based on people's orders, but yeah, want to make sure that that's kind of reasonable for people. And in that sense, for people who say if you have to do that and you're international and you do an order through manually like a PayPal invoice or something like that, I will make sure that either, you get, if you do that a couple times in a row, you still get the 5% rewards cashback credit there, or if like when it's implemented on the site to hopefully soon enough be able to order international through there, that your points are added there. So you won't lose out on the rewards benefits or anything like that. This is so long again, but I'm sure there's actually still things that I am not thinking of somehow, but more to come for sure. There's just so much more I have planned for this, and both in terms of just like so many different word collections, so many different aspects of the site, so many features that I'm just really excited about and I think are going to be pretty cool. And thanks for watching to all two people who made it this far into the video. And I'm just really excited about this and looking forward to doing the giveaways for people soon.